Okay, we'll start with number 3. We're solving by factoring. So we'll take out an x. So that means x would equal 0 or 5/3. For number 4, x plus 4 times x plus 6 equals 0, so x would equal -4 or -6. For number 5, x plus 2 times x plus 7 equals 0. So x would equal -2 or -7. For number 6, let's magnify this so we can see it a little better. You got to multiply these two numbers, you get -12. Two numbers that multiply out to -12 and add up to -4, -6 and 2. So 4x squared minus 6x plus 2x minus 3. And then factor by grouping. Take 2x out there and take a 1 out of the last two. And then take out a 2x minus 3. So x would equal 3/2 or -1/2. Number 7, same approach. Multiply those, you get 30. Two numbers that multiply out to 30 and add up to 13 would be 10 and 3. So break up the middle. And then do grouping. Take out x plus 5. So x would equal -5 or -3/2. Number 6. Multiply those, you get 24. Two numbers that multiply out to 24 and add up to 11 are 8 and 3. Do grouping. So x is -4/3 or -1/2. Okay, well, let's go to, let's see, we have more factoring. There it is. Here's some more. These are a little harder. So multiply these, you get -84. And you need two numbers that multiply out to -84 and add up to 25. How about +28 and -3? So you'd have 12x squared plus 28x minus 3x minus 7. Take out a 4x out of the first two. Take a -1 out of the last two. And then take out 3x plus 7. So x is equal to -7/3 or 1/4. Number 9. Multiply these two, you get -90. Two numbers that multiply out to -90 and add up to 43 would be 45 and -2. let's see, take out a 3x. No, we can do better than that. No, we can't. Well, let's see, 6x. How about 9x? And take a minus 1 out of the last two. So we'd have 2x plus 5 times 9x minus 1 equals 0. So x would equal minus 5 halves, or 1/9. One more of these. Multiply these, you get minus 90. Two numbers that multiply out to minus 90 and add up to 13. How about 18 and minus 5? So 30x squared plus 18x minus 5x minus 3. Use grouping, take out 6x. Oops. And take out a minus 1 out of the last two. So you have 5x plus 3 times 6x minus 1 equals 0. X is minus 3/5, or 1/6. Okay, now let's do some completing the square. So let's go back to the first handout and go toward the end. Here we are. Solve by completing the square. Well, to do that, you're going to move 2 over to the other side. And the number that completes the square, remember 3 steps? Take half of minus 3, square it, and divide by the leading coefficient. So add 9/4 to both sides. And we want to get rid of the fraction, so multiply both sides now by 4. So 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals minus 8 plus 9. And the left side will be 2x minus 3 quantity squared equals 1. So 2x minus 3 equals plus or minus 1. So 2x is 3 plus or minus 1. X then is 3 plus or minus 1 all over 2, which would be 4 halves, which is 2, or 2 halves, which is 1. Number 10. Move the 1 over. And take half of the coefficient of x, square it, you get 1/4 divided by the leading coefficient, you still get 1/4. Add 1/4 to both sides, and then we're going to get rid of the fraction by multiplying by 4. So 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals minus 4 plus 1. So we have 2x plus 1 quantity squared equals minus 3. And 2x plus 1 then would equal plus or minus the square root of negative 3, which is plus or minus I square roots of 3. Solve for x. So x would equal minus 1 plus or minus I square roots of 3 all over 2. Move the 3 over, you get y squared plus 6y plus blank equals 3 plus blank. I'll take half of 6, which is 3, square it, you get 9, divided by 1 is still 9. So we have y plus 3 quantity squared equals 12. And y plus 3 then would be plus or minus the square root of 12, which is plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. Y then would be minus 3 plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. 32. Move the 1 over. Half of 24 is 12. Squared is 144. Divided by 16 is 9. So the left side is 4x plus 3 quantity squared. The right side is 10. So let's see. X would equal minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 10 all over 4. I think we got one more here. Number 33. Move the minus 1 over. And half of negative 4 is negative 2. Squared is 4. Divided by the leading coefficient 4, you get 1. So the left side is 2x minus 1 quantity squared. The right side is 2. So 2x minus 1 is plus or minus the square root of 2. So x would equal 1 plus or minus the square root of 2 all over 2. Okay, let's do some quadratic formula, and then we can do some word problems. Now for the quadratic formula, we're going to start with number 3. And you have to move the minus 1 to the left side to use the formula. And so here we go. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And remember, for those who need the formula, let's put it right here. Let's go back here and put it. If ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's the formula you need to know by heart. Okay, now let's fill in. This is going to be 5. A is 3. And C is 1. So x would equal minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 12, which is 13, all over 6. Here's another one. Well, you got to move the 7 to the other side. So x would equal minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. b is 2, a is 3, and c is negative 7. So this would be minus 2 plus or minus the square root of, let's see, in the square root we'd have 4 plus 84, which is 88 over 6. Well, we can simplify that. That would be equal to minus 2 plus or minus. Let's see, the square root of 88 is 4 times 22. So 2 square roots of 22 over 6, and you can factor a 2 out of the top. And the 2 and the 6 cancel, giving me a 3. So my final answer would be x equals minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 22 all over 3. Okay, number 5. 5x squared plus 3x equals 9. You've got to move the 9 over. So 5x squared plus 3x minus 9 equals 0. X then would be minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. b is 3, a is 5, and c is negative 9. So x would be minus 3 plus or minus the square root. Under the square root, we have 9 plus, let's see, 4 times 5 is 20, times 9 is 180. So 189. All over 10. Now 189, let's see, 9 goes into 189 21 times. So we can reduce this a little bit. The square root of 189 then would be the square root of 9 times 21, which would be 3 square roots of 21. So my answer will be minus 3 plus or minus 3 square roots of 21 all over 10. We'll do one more. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's see, a, b, and c are all 1. So x would equal minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4, which is negative 3, all over 2, which would be minus 1 plus or minus I square roots of 3, all over 2. Well, so much for that. Stay tuned for more later.